What's up, everyone? Welcome to the third UTM Podcast. I'm pretty surprised we made it to 3 episodes, what with all the fuck-ups and mentions of cum we've had so far. But here we are. Last month, stocks were up. We discussed futures output and how great flutes are. Hashtag more flutes in 2017. And Breath of the Wild, we discussed that as well, amongst other stuff. So go check it out if you missed it. Last month, I asked Josh to put annotations in the video, but there weren't any, but that is absolutely fine because the podcast was fucked up and it was a bitch to edit, so shouts out to Josh for that.
I put in an end card instead of an annotation because you can only put in one. You can't put in end cards and annotations, but I don't know if anyone got to the end of our podcast, so maybe they didn't see the end card. And...
I mean, whatever. Well, you saved it and it was trash, so shouts out to you for that.
Sick.
My name is Nathan, a.k.a. Young Trashman, a.k.a. The Wavy Bather, and I'm joined by the Crazy Gang, as Mark's mum likes to call us.
Crazy
Shout
gang.
out Helen.
Shout outs to Big H, a.k.a. Helen the Hinkley Don. I keep seeing her on my way to work. It's the best. Like, every time I'm like, oh, morning, Helen, how you doing? Yeah, it's miserable weather, isn't it? Yeah, oh, see you later. It's great. Anyway, joining me today, Josh, a.k.a. Best Dragon, a.k.a. the guy who risked his sanity editing the last podcast. Hopefully less issues this time around.
That would be nice.
Were you, like, properly, like, mentally drained after that?
Probably.
Because I honestly, after the, like, I would, like, if it was me editing, I wouldn't have been able to carry on and do it. I would have been like, no, guys, you all fucked up. Start again. I couldn't have done it. It was clap sync issues everywhere.
It has drained me so much. My social cognitive functions are not working.
All right, we also have Connor, a.k.a. Best Demon, a.k.a. these are some anime references I don't get because I'm only just watching Death Note in 2017. You know, what is that? What's Best Demon? I don't fucking know. You guys are nerds.
I just copied Josh's username but replaced Dragon with Demon. Well, because it's a show called Gabrielle Dropout about angels and demons, and demons are basically the concept is angels are dicks and the demons are not so much.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
That is my explanation.
I did a little pause there.
Cheers, mate. Yeah. Also joining us today is Rich, a.k.a. Young Chatty Man, a.k.a. Lil Interrupter, who I'm clearly still annoyed with after the last goddamn podcast.
Oh, mate, I'm sorry. I'm not sorry.
You're gonna let me finish the outro this time?
Maybe, if you pay me. If you start salarying me for these podcasts, then yeah.
I'll pay you 2 pesos an hour.
2 pesos an hour. £2.50 and a Corona.
That's like 2p.
£2.50 and a Kit Kat.
1 can of Foster's.
1 can of Foster's? That's. Give me a bottle of lime cordial as well. And yeah, that's calm.
What about Bud Light Lime?
Ooh, how many Bud Light Limes can I get? This is a lucrative opportunity here. Like, this is probably the best offer I've had in ages.
No, this is miserable.
I'm backing out, and I'm not paying you shit. Just don't interrupt me.
Damn, down.
I didn't forget him this week. It's Joe, a.k.a. Backwards Alter, a.k.a. Young Stockbroker. How are the stocks looking this week?
Hey, yo, I'm Joe. I'm the crazy one. Stocks are down.
Stocks are down. Brexit is happening. Get out of here while you can. What have you all been doing recently?
Everything. I mean,
nothing.
I've been playing Horizon Zero Dawn a lot.
See, I want to get it.
Sick. It's real good. It's
really it last night. It's a lot of fun.
It's a real nice. It's just a really nicely polished, if ever so slightly generic, like open world RPG. Yeah, it's a really good game. You should get it.
I'm gonna pick it up when I manage to finish Resident Evil 7, which I'm still. I just got to play it at the right time, you know, like when it's dark, when it's nighttime, when I'm spooked, when I'm not playing Final Fantasy 14, which is all the fucking time.
I do kind of have to play it at night. I played it in the day and it just didn't have the same impact.
I played it during the day, but I blocked out the light in the room completely.
See, that might be a smart idea. I might do that after this podcast, maybe. I got time. In this month's podcast, we are going to be discussing Shrem Life or No Game No Life or End My Life because I don't want to talk about Drake. But we kind of have to because it's big news. So yeah, we'll be talking about Drake's Small Life. We'll also be talking about writing and voice acting in video games and whether or not it really matters. Rich mentioned Horizon Zero Dawn. That's one of the things we're gonna touch on. But yeah, I mean, first we got to kill some time, and I want to know what everyone's been up to. Has anyone played or listened to anything that they want to talk about, like real quick?
I played lots of Zelda, but we talked about that. Well, we kind of mostly talked about the DLC, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, you can talk about Zelda. I want to hear more, to be fair, because I don't have a Switch.
All right, so Zelda's a really good game, guys. Like,
thanks.
It's very good.
Thanks, Metacritic.
That's great.
Yeah, but I have some problems with it. But
ooh, you know,
like
these problems.
Major problems, or just
well, I don't know. It depends on whether you think the main quest being really boring is a problem or not. Because
no,
I mean,
no.
A game being boring. A game being boring is a problem.
That's a
no. He says main quest. That means like not all the side shit you can do, which is.
But that's often the case. That's often the case in a lot of RPG games.
Yeah, but people really like the lore and the the triumphant quest that Link goes on, which is like all cool and everything. But the stuff that they've actually designed this time around, like specifically designed for that quest, is just really boring in comparison to making your own adventure. Which, in some ways, points to how different a game this is for a Zelda.
I was going to say that, yeah.
But
obviously, it's a different game.
I don't see why they couldn't do both well.
I would imagine it's hard to do, Ocarina of Time kind of story and get all the extra shit in at the same time.
Yeah, probably, but
Skyrim was the same. Like, that had a boring main story, but, I mean, you can fuck about and do loads of different stuff. And
so did Fallout 3. Fucking Fallout 3. All you have to do is go save Liam Neeson from a pod. And then, he's like, I can't walk in this room. I'm going to do it anyway. I'm dead now. I'm yet to see a game that nails, like, a main story and something else outside of it. So, I don't think it's too bad.
A lot of games struggle with side quests, don't they? Because it's usually like, just go to this place and talk to someone. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a few fetch quests in Zelda that are actually, like, kind of tied to the main stuff, honestly. Which is where the problem arises. Because you don't really... there's all these things to do. There's all these shrines to go to, which are like mini dungeons, and they're really cool because, first of all, you have to get to them and find them, which is quite fun to do because getting around the world is just really exciting because of how you can pretty much climb anything, unless it's raining, in which case, fuck, you're doing nothing. But that stuff is really exciting. And then when you go into like a town or something, someone's like, can you get me some eggs?
Sounds like my gran when I go around her house.
You'll go do the main quest, which is basically just, I don't want to give any spoilers away, but it's basically 4 big dungeons that you have to go ahead and do. And the dungeons are pretty cool, but the shrines are, I think, more exciting, honestly.
I've heard, I don't really know what any of that means, but I've seen that said online a lot, so I don't think you're alone in saying that.
And obviously, there's something that we can talk about later because it ties into the whole voice acting thing. But man, the voice acting, whew, it's rough.
I think you nailed it in that one step, like one little woof.
But it's a fantastic game, regardless. I think.
Has anyone else played or watched anything that they want to talk about?
I've just been playing free PS+ games, so.
What have you been playing?
Connor's on the cutting edge.
Like last Big Planet?
Little
that
Big
sounds
Planet.
more dangerous.
Little Big Planet, which turns out is bugged as hell. You can't collect everything because of glitches. Yeah.
I had a pretty smooth playthrough when I played with Kiwi.
If you have a friend with you, it's easier. Because going online with people are dicks on that game.
Yeah.
And also Tearaway Unfolded, which is by the same it's by the same studio, I think.
Media Molecule.
Yeah, and that like they both got the kind of same charming, like unique kind of like use of like old art things like Little Big Planet sock puppets. This is like paper origami type stuff, I think.
Does it not lose its charm when you've done it like a few times though?
Yeah, after a while, like it had like one of the cool things about it is that it uses like the DualShock controller really uniquely. So it's got like it uses like the gyroscope of it, and like you like the touchpad on like you actually touch the touchpad a lot to like make wind and stuff. It uses the like you can shake it to ring a bell or like if you throw something.
It uses the speaker as well because like a squirrel can get into your controller.
Yeah, because the kind of concept is you yourself is you're like an outsider character called the you.
It originally came out on Vita, and the Vita had a camera, and you would be the sun. Like, your face would show up in the sun.
Yeah, it does give you the option, but I don't have a camera for it, so... Yeah, so if you throw a squirrel in, it starts, like, you can hear it in the controller. But, sometimes it kind of just... It does get old after a while. But I just went ham on it, because there's just lots of collectibles to get.
Waste a bit of time, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'm such an idiot, though, because, like... I played a level like about 10 times looking for a collectible, and it was in such an obvious place.
Damn.
But yeah, it's
always happens.
Fun.
That's cool. I have been watching Death Note way too late. I mean, obviously I knew about it like way back when, but I wasn't into anime and shit. I was like, yeah, that's nerdy, I don't want to watch it. Then I watched the film and I was like, oh, okay, maybe I'll watch the anime, but I still wasn't really into it. Then someone told me in like second or third year of uni, like a couple of years ago, you got to watch the fucking anime. Like, it's way better than... I was like, yeah. Up until now, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to sit down and watch it. It's fucking great. Like, and why I want to talk about that is because of the re-release. I don't know what you'd call it.
It's a remake?
Whitewash, I guess. Yeah, remake.
It's a remake of the live action.
White make.
Yeah, and no, thank you. I do not want that. That just looks absolute trash. Like, watching the anime at the moment, and it's fucking great. Like, it's real in depth. I wouldn't want.
I do have the question: who needs a like live action American version when there's so many versions in Japan already?
People who haven't watched it, honestly.
Yeah. Well, just trash Westerners that don't watch anything with subtitles.
The original Death Note anime is on Netflix already, so...
that's what I'm watching it on. But you know what I mean? Like, I just think it's unnecessary.
Remakes are always unnecessary unless the original sucks.
No, I think it's... No, sometimes it can be... We were talking about Ju-On and Ringu the other day. Like, Ringu was a good, like, Americanized... Well, as far as Americanizations go...
Well, that's because their Americanization of it was basically, let's put America in Japan.
But it wasn't, like, bad. And there was that one with the two... the sisters... it was a Korean film. I can't remember what the fuck it was called. That wasn't too bad. But, like, something like this, I just think it's unnecessary. And... I'm going to finish watching the anime, and I'm going to stay the fuck away from...
Old Boy had a remake, an American remake.
It did, and I stayed away from that as well.
It's very bad.
Why would you want to remake that?
It's got Rami Malek in it, but he dies. So there's not much point. No.
You know what else Rami Malek's in? Night at the Museum 2.
And 3.
Wow.
And 3. There you go, so...
Is he one of the museums exhibits?
The museums?
He is a museum, yeah. He plays a museum.
He's the museum talks, and it's Rami Malek. He just goes, hello, friend.
I don't know if you guys are joking. Those films are dumb as hell.
Yeah, it could literally... Yeah.
No,
I see where you're coming from.
He's typecast as an Egyptian because he's an Egyptian-American or American-Egyptian.
Damn. Hollywood really going to town with those stereotypes.
I mean, at least they didn't cast a white dude.
Yeah, true. I mean, still lame. Josh, Rich, well, I know what Rich has been doing. We're going to talk about that later. He's got a whole section to go off on. Josh, are you doing anything?
I have been putting my Wii U to rest.
Oh, all right.
Rest in peace.
I play Breath of the Wild as well, but I won't talk much about that because we've talked loads over the course of it. But I've been finishing Tokyo Mirage Sessions lately, which is the Fire Emblem Shin Megami Tensei crossover, which is produced by Atlas, which... It's really good. I just reminded it's really good again. I'm pretty much like at end game now. I'm just like grinding before the final boss because like some of my characters are pretty low level and I need to quite.
I love that grind before the final boss.
Yeah. It doesn't help that battles take 500,000 years in that game, but they also look really good, so it's kind of a compromise because the way it works is you perform in the round, so you have the enemies in the middle and there's three of your party members like around on the outside, and you attack using spells from like the Shin Megami Tensei like series, so like Zio, which is like an electric spell. So you use that, and then that triggers what's called a session, which basically the 4 members that aren't in your party also do like a big chain attack. Like, so you have like you do a sword move into an ice move, and then someone would have like an ice move into a fire move or something, and there's a massive chain. And then there's like special performances as well, which you can do where like 2 of the party members will collaborate and do a song, because that's basically like the summon or special move of this game, because obviously it's all about idols basically that have like personas but they're Fire Emblem characters and stuff like that, and then that can like chain another session, so it's all about basically chaining to like kill enemies like as fast as you can. So but they take a long time.
Kind of hectic, but also
it's
fun.
It looks really good. They put so much attention to detail as well, which I love. Like every time a character casts a spell, they like it comes up in like their signature and like a holographic signature, like an idol signature. It's really cool. Like
damn,
I love it.
It's impressive.
Really
how much is that going for now? Because if that's something I can pick up for not a lot of money, I'd do it.
Well, it's Wii U, so
okay, not doing it.
I really hope it gets ported to the Switch, because I feel like it suffered a bit, because a lot of people were expecting something different because it was in the works for like years. Like like it's gonna be Fire Emblem, and there's not really a lot of Fire Emblem. The Fire Emblem stuff is more cosmetic and kind of story based, but like there's not a lot of Fire Emblem mechanics in it, so a lot of people got put off. And then they saw it was like an idol game, so they're just like, fuck this, I don't want to play fucking singy song idols. But it's really good. It would have been better as like, I don't want to say it's its own IP, because it kind of is, but I don't know. The advertising wasn't great, I don't think.
Well, sounds fun. So, I mean, if Wii U's are gonna, stocks are gonna go down, so I might pick one up.
Yeah,
play all the games that I've missed. You know?
Yeah, honestly, I'm starting to think that maybe I should have bought a Wii U instead.
I mean, it had some good games.
Of a Switch.
Yeah, because the Wii U had a bunch of games that I want to play, and they're gonna be cheaper there. Like, because there's Mario Kart.
You don't want to miss out on the new Switch games, though.
Yeah, but
That's
Zelda's
true.
already
I
on the
do
Wii
really
U.
want the new Mario, but right now I finished Zelda and I'm just looking at it like, damn, rest in peace, my friend.
You should pick up Bomberman, mate.
That's probably not worth the price tag, to be honest.
I think I think there's like a multiplayer thing on Bomberman or something. I don't know, but there's like a leaderboard. And I saw JME post on Twitter the other day. He's like top 5 in Bomberman on the Switch. I was like, what the fuck have you been doing?
I'm gonna do what do you call it? I'm gonna get snipper clips though.
That looks I've seen some footage of that. It looks amazing.
Yeah, it looks so much fun.
With a friend would be awesome.
What is it? I thought it was just cutting things.
It is.
Then why is it awesome?
What do you mean?
It's just like a fun little puzzle thing.
Little Big Planet's just jumping. What's good about it?
It was free.
That is true, and one of Connor's top priorities. Is it free? Yes, get it. Play it to death. I like your priorities. Does everyone want to get started on Drake? Is everyone ready for Drake?
I don't believe you are.
No, I'm not. I'm really not. Right. I did my preparation. I've listened to it a lot. I've actually been listening to it like more than I thought I would. So, you know, I'm ready. I'm ready.
There's only room for one Aubrey in Nathan's life.
Yeah. Who? Oh, Aubrey Plaza. Oh, yeah. I was like, who do I know?
Clearly not
Aubrey. I thought you meant like one of my friends or something. I was like, I don't have any other friends. Who are you talking about?
I saw someone dig up a Drake tweet from ages ago that was him talking about how much he loves Aubrey Plaza, and it's like, it might be weird though because we have the same name.
Damn. So right, this came out. It's not even a week old. It's a playlist, right?
Is it? I don't know.
No,
is it? Well, go to Pigeons and Planes and find out.
Yeah, I told you, Jake.
I didn't take the time to read that. I'm sorry. But what is it? What is the whole playlist album like? Why is it a playlist rather than an album? It seems like an album.
Mate, it's an unruly ting.
Big tune for your head, dub.
I think it's intended to be like a collection of sounds and moods that kind of work more as a playlist than an album.
Nudes? He said nudes!
I said nudes!
You're saying nudes again!
I said nudes.
This is why you need a better
it.
mic. You're saying nudes every time.
Drake, put it away!
Yeah, so Drake put out a collection of nudes this weekend.
Damn, Nude 4 is fire.
Oh, God. Oh, God. Right.
Damn, I've lost my train of thought now. Thanks, guys.
I know what Connor is getting at, is that it's not intended to be like a cohesive story from start to finish. But then again, a lot of albums aren't that anyway, so...
Yeah,
But no one's ever called them playlists before. Drake's just like, But I think it's a business move and also him protecting himself. So.
Yeah, I was gonna say why the need to call it a playlist? Like, what's that achieving?
I think it is just shielding him, essentially.
I feel like it's maybe less kind of like
criticism.
Yeah, a little bit, because he's inviting more and more collaborators into the mix, and he's borrowing so many different sounds. He's borrowing sounds from like London and like
it feels
Jamaica.
Like the idea is kind of less strict than an album as well. Like
Atlanta.
If people are gonna keep doing these really long ass albums, maybe playlists are the way to go, because you don't have to you can pick and choose shit then.
Yeah, I'd agree with that, because it was kind of like listening to that fucking Future album last month. Both of them actually, they just got a bit samey after a while. But what I really loved about the Drake album was that there were so many just little inflections of other things, and really it wasn't necessarily an album, but it was kind of. There was a lot of variance in the sounds.
I think that's actually what led me to enjoy it. Actually,
yeah, definitely.
And honestly, I'm so surprised that I enjoyed a Drake thing. Really surprised. You guys know how much I fucking hate Drake, but I feel like this was really well put together. There was kind of sections that it was this is cool, and then it'd go to some shit that I'm like, I really like this, and then. Some bits were but it didn't feel like I needed to bother with it because it was, it was so long. It was like a kind of playlist thing. Yeah, I think it was pick and choosey kind of thing. It didn't really matter to me so much.
It's such a nice change from Views as well, which is so kind of samey and safe all the way through.
It was just so angry and sad. It never had any other emotion besides those two, and then there would just be two random pop songs in there.
This is also great because it doesn't start with stupid strings.
Oh, it starts with piano, mate.
Yeah.
That's how you know it's going off.
Piano better than strings.
Yep.
What did we think?
You know what's better than
about
strings? Flutes.
Have you heard a certain Sonic sample?
Oh my god. So this was a mad thing. According to Drake.
As Drake would say.
Yeah, as Drake would say now that he is a London roadman. Right, okay. Let's talk about shit that I hate about this album, because I need to get it off my chest. That is something that I hate. It feels like them rich kids that try and do something that isn't something rich kids do. And you're like, why are you doing that? Because that ain't you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, literally.
That's what I managed to get past it, because there was good things about the album playlist, whatever, that I enjoyed. So I was kind of ignoring it, but it did really annoy me how he was saying ting.
What I found about that album was that was kind of more of an aesthetic. I was listening to Drake's bars, and there wasn't a whole lot of him actually really clumsily sort of introducing London slang into it. which I was a bit
That's
surprised
because
because
a
it
lot
was
of
something
that
that was picked up
slang's
about.
from Toronto as well.
Yeah, that's true actually.
Yeah.
Well,
London.
it's patois, so it's not like just it's not London specific.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not just a London thing. Yeah,
it's wherever there's Caribbean communities, but it's not obviously being from the UK. That's like you heavily associate that with grime, and obviously Drake's been. He's just been having this whole transformation into like a UK music lover, I guess you could say is what's happening. But it still kind of annoys me because I don't know. It's just I'm glad that it's like getting more of a exposure. Like for someone like Drake to be giving props to these scenes is great, but it's when he's doing it himself. Like I feel like he could have done it in a more in a less lame way. You know what I mean?
He's very obvious with it, isn't he?
On fucking. Was it Blem? He's on the hook. He's like, you need to stop running to your ex. He's a waste man. Like that. That really cringed me out.
Did he actually say it in his like Canadian accent as well? Like, you're waste man.
Yeah.
Oh mate, that's no good.
Well, he's singing it, and it's kind of like a bit patois, but I don't know.
Doesn't work.
I mean, it's not been him from day one, so for him to start doing it makes me kind of cringe.
I almost think that. When he was making his debut album, he was forced to, be a little bit more. I don't know, maybe make himself a bit more commercial in that sense, because
you can't be saying he was talking like this from day
oh
one.
no,
can
definitely not. But
there you go.
This is more. I still think that this sounds more like who he is as a person than like Thank Me Later did or something.
Mm.
Because he's from one of those places which is like a cultural hotpot. So he like Toronto, like you're always being introduced to new cultures every time.
Yeah, but you can't say that this didn't come about from him coming to the UK and linking up with Skepta and gigs, and that's where it came from. Like he's not had this like all of that. There was the whole running
he's had it
meme
all along, but
yeah,
I think him embracing it
isn't as bad. Yeah, I see where you're coming from. But it still did my head in. But like I said, there were like plenty of other things on More Life that I thought were great, so I could kind of ignore it a little bit.
At least he actually had like grime out like UK artists on there this time as well. Like
yeah, but it's
like
but it's like Giggs and Skepta.
I know Skepta. It's like in America, he's not that big.
Yeah, but Americans don't appreciate any of this either, as we have found out from the feedback of the songs they've got.
Yeah, in the US, though, like Skepta is the grime artist,
and Stormzy. So pretty much like in the UK.
Well, that's kind of the same. Yeah, I was about to say it's the same in the UK of people that don't even fucking listen to grime. Everyone's like, "Oh, I love Stormzy. Yeah, he's the best." It's the same thing.
Stormzy. Ed Sheeran talks about him.
Oh, mate.
That's what I'm saying.
Fucking hell.
Yeah. Obviously, it's gonna be Skepta. It's gonna be gigs that are on the album, but it's just annoying because it's kind of like
I thought Giggs was actually really weak.
I'm fed up of...
He was really fucking weak on that.
Come on.
They were just really unimaginative. All his bars were just so like unimaginative, and I've heard better from Giggs. I never thought I'd hear myself say that, but I've heard better from Giggs.
I've heard better from Giggs as well, but that's kind of like Giggs to a T, like on this album. Like they're his kind of bars, and that's his kind of flow. The only time I've seen him outperform himself really was on Man Don't Care. Like he really went in on that one. Like that was
and he throws a reference to that in there as well.
He does, and that was my favorite shit. And that's what Americans did not get on this. I've seen so many tweets about like, why is he talking about Batman? Like it's really weird. It's like oh my god, and I'm sitting there like I can't believe you're not getting this because he did it in Man Don't Care, and it was a massive it was a big thing. Everyone loved it. And then and in what's the other track he's on?
No Long Talk. I think he sounds really cool on No Long Talk. Like,
he does.
He fits it so well.
No,
Americans were like, he keeps saying certain. What is a certain? and I'm like the other day I was trying to get into the mind frame. I was like, because I hear that and I know what he's saying.
Yeah.
Because I've heard it before. if I get into mindset of an American hearing it, it is crazy. Like you wouldn't know what he's saying at all, and it would put you off.
When are they ever gonna hear that? So
Yeah,
I honestly think that's the a No Long Talk is like the smoothest collaboration between Drake and a British artist.
Yeah. I think that's
that's true.
I think it just works so well. They both sound really good on that track together.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, I didn't really rate Drake's flow on that, to be honest. He was just trying to go a bit too hard with the whole road rap angle. It just didn't.
Yeah, he was.
I guess, but
I think
they both seem to be meeting a middle ground almost, though.
yeah.
I felt that. I mean, it was kind of annoying. Like I said, the whole like trying to road rap thing. But I feel like Drake did do well on this one. This was one of them ones that he didn't sound too bad on. Like he didn't sound too.
What about
rich kid trying to do cool things?
What about KMT?
It's kind of
KMT's a banger, and we need to talk about that for at least 50 minutes.
We need to appreciate Sonic 06 again.
The great thing about KMT actually was that he actually does appear to have been listening to, or someone whoever produced it, or someone in his team has actually appears to have been listening to half decent like road rap from the UK, like K9.
What, he was
have any of you guys heard K9?
Is it Nis or
Yeah,
something?
I heard K9.
K9, KMT really, like the production on it really reminds me of the slightly more. I mean, it's kind of a bit watered down, but it reminds me of the kind of thing that K9's doing with the slightly more ambitious kind of productions.
K9's production's really dark.
It's fucking amazing. Like the new his new album was fucking great, but that KMT kind of reminded me of a slightly more basic kind of version of K9's production. That's actually what I really appreciate about it.
The thing that really like I accepted wholeheartedly was the instrumentals, like the ones that are more kind of like old school grimy ones, like that murky shank music, like Gets and shit like that. That was
Sounds
really
like
well
it's
done.
half Mega Drive.
There was that one
Grimes
tune that had like that really like dark like LFO kind of bass line, or just sort of big bass.
Free Smoke.
Yeah, Free Smoke. Like that was
the first track. That's on my notes. I've put murky shank music. Gets Bus One.
Free Smoke.
If you listen to Bus One, it's Gets with Devlin, but like on that, it's got that real low kind of growly bass as well, and it just sounds like you're about to get murdered. And I love that. I love that shit. Like that's
I think that's what's cool about this whole thing, though, is that the whole playlist, shall we?
Yeah.
Is that it mixes that kind of really dark, kind of rumbling, angry sound with like these really kind of summery and serene moments.
Yeah.
Can we talk about Passion Fruit? That song is great.
It was
This song is just great.
It was Can't Have Everything that I was on about, but that had a sick like kind of trappy, grimy, kind of UK trap grime kind of bass thing behind it. Big wall of bass. It was sick.
That song's after KMT, I think, and after KMT I kind of
switched off.
That's the one where his mom's telling it, like, is his mom telling him off for the Meek Mill beef?
No, I think she's telling him off for how negative he is on views, because I don't know if you've listened to views.
Even Drake's mom doesn't like views.
Every single song, there was barely any positive emotions on that album.
It is true though. You don't really want to like bear your. Well, you can bear your negative emotions on a track here, but you don't want to show your mum. I've just been making I've been making some really dark kind of hip hop stuff recently, where I've been real sad recently, and I've been really bearing my soul, and I really don't want my mum to hear any of it, because it's like fucking hell.
I don't think she's gonna buy your mixtape anytime soon, Rich. I think you're safe.
It's not a mixtape, mate. It's a 2-track EP.
A commercial album. I'm selling it on Bandcamp.
We're premiering on the podcast.
Gonna be sad as fuck.
That's the you put that on the back of the box.
What a plug.
But no, wait, what the fuck were we talking about?
Sorry, I derailed the conversation.
We were on Passion Fruit.
Just moved on to Passion Fruit.
Passion Fruit from miles away.
Because obviously there's that murky shank music, but then there's shit like Passion Fruit as well.
That's like a classic Drake, like summer banger. Like,
I don't think it's a banger.
Classic, but
yeah, Passion Fruit was great. I liked that it kind of.
I mean, banger in a sense, it's a cool song.
Yeah,
it incorporated those kind of like house music-y kind of vibes into it, which was nice.
Oh yeah, there was a couple of tracks
quite
that were
diluted.
like old school house.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Passion Fruit.
That's
Passion
Get
Fruit
Together, isn't it?
And the one with Black Coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That seems the least Drake's song on the whole album.
Oh yeah, he's only on it for like the hook. I think
the song formerly featuring J-Lo until J-Lo didn't want to chirp to Drake anymore, and she's not on it.
Oh, he only did that to clear the sample on Teenage Fever.
Okay, that song, Teenage Fever, I think is one of them. I don't see people talking about that. I think that's underrated as shit. I fucking love that track.
That sample is amazing.
The sample is, and I remember listening to that when I was younger, you know, like late 2000s or something, like R&B shit. That's every time I like, and that's just before KMT as well. So I get this nice little like nostalgic kind of R&B thing with the sample, slightly like tweaked vocals, and then I get KMT, you know, like.
Yeah, two best songs on the album right next to each other.
I really love that sample. It made me Google fucking that Drugs by Kevin Abstract. You know, he does that interpolation of Cassie.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of the same kind of like he starts singing like this, you know, mid to late 2000s R&B shit, and I don't know when that's sampled and shit. That's 10 out of 10 for me. I think that shit is delicious.
He did I think the samples on this in general are like really good.
Yeah.
Like there's a few of them, and he also does like interpolations of older songs a few times. I can't remember what the track name is, but he starts singing what's it again? Lionel Richie?
All Night Long, isn't it?
That's
yeah,
Blend.
he starts singing
That's literally right at the very end.
Yeah,
just,
right at the very
end.
There's that.
No,
is it
I thought he like sings a line of it himself in one of the songs.
Is it Earth, Wind and Fire that Kanye samples at the end of Glow?
I
don't know.
That sounds like a song
Let's head
from
to
Guitar Hero.
whosampled.com and find out.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. That bit at the end of Glow was really nice, though. But that's what I was saying. There was just really nice
little.
little,
That's quite Kanye, that bit at the end.
nice little flourishes and embellishments that kind of just made it really listenable.
I like that. I think that Glow is really cool because it sounds like Drake and Kanye switching places.
Almost, yeah. It's a really good collab. Like,
especially considering Drake just straight up, Kanye just straight up says we started from the bottom, and it's just like, all right, mate, you don't have to take it too literally. But I agree with the comment that was made earlier. After KMT, like I think it goes down a bit. Yeah. I almost feel like Teenage Fever and KMT should have been like the last two tracks on the album.
I mean, Glow and I guess Fake Love, but that just doesn't really count.
Wait, isn't Lose You after KMT?
But
yeah, maybe.
It's what?
Because that's a really good song, and that's an actual
Lose
good
You, yeah.
40 beat. Like, I heard when we listened to that live, I heard that song, and I was like, this sounds like 40 actually wants to try and make good beats again after the disastrous views.
Ice Melts is towards the end, and that's probably Liley's favourite song. That song's so corny.
That's the Broccoli ripoff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Broccoli's also
it's
corny.
the one with just young thug on the hook going, where?
Wow, wow, wow.
Where?
The phone inside of Young
Honestly,
Thug.
that back end of the album I've not listened to like as much as the rest, so these things are going straight over my head.
I think after KMT it just kind of dips a lot. Drake kind of
I do like
bit.
Lose You a lot, but I feel like its placement on the album's a bit weird.
Yeah.
Sorry, playlist.
I haven't made any notes on Lose You. I must have forgot it.
Well,
Connor didn't like it as much because there wasn't Sonic.
There was, the fucking Sonic sample. What the fuck?
Isn't it by some kind of like barely known producers? So I imagine they're just
Josh
Ness
got
and Cameron
his tweet
Pascal.
Yeah. You tweeted about something Sonic-y or I don't know, and then one of the producers favorited it, didn't they?
Yeah, Ness favorited the one.
Is
of
it
them.
Ness? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know who that guy
named
is,
after
but
Ness.
shouts out to him.
PK Fire from Mother. Earthbound.
Mother, maybe, yeah. Who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe that's just his real name. Maybe we should just.
Could be. But that's kind of quite a SoundCloud producer type thing, isn't it? To just like sample video games.
Yeah.
But usually good.
That's a grind.
I don't know. I feel like video games in general have just been sampled across like grime and hip hop for like ages now.
But
I mean, the biggest rap album of last year had a Street Fighter 2 sample on 2 different songs. So
What was that?
that was The Life of Pablo.
Perfect. What was the other one?
It was the same thing.
Oh, the same one.
Yeah, it just sampled it twice.
Yeah.
2 different songs.
Yeah.
But,
I mean,
I want to. Is Drake aware of the Sonic sample? Did he choose it intentionally because of it? Like,
well, his management had to reach out to Sega.
Really? It might have been like, oh, it's the most hated Sonic game, and I'm like the most disliked rapper or something.
No, he didn't.
I don't think Drake thinks that about himself.
He probably just heard the sample and was like, "This is a really good use of that sample. I'm going to clear this." Not Sonic.
That was a really good use
I
of
just
that sample.
really want it to be something like to be a really cool, this weird story around it because I don't know, couldn't make it up.
Drake was playing Sonic Adventure in the studio and he lost all his rings. Got really upset.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh, I'm gonna hit up Sega.
Damn, Drake is me.
Yeah, that sample was great. I didn't know it was from a Sonic game, but then like I don't know, someone put like the 2 tracks next to each other. I was like, oh fuck,
yeah,
that's crazy. But yeah, you think of how like kind of like menacing that sounds, and then you're like, oh shit, it's from a Sonic game. You know what I mean? That's
the one where Sonic kisses a human.
Yeah, what the fuck. What else was on the album?
Portland.
Maybe
got,
that.
Yes.
Wait, shit.
We got more flutes.
Nah. I think we've got to the bottom of this. Drake wanted to use the sample from Sonic 06 because Sonic 06 is about forbidden love. And Drake loves forbidden love.
He also loves sex.
Oh my god, you guys need to stop. This is what I don't like about Drake.
This is a game theory.
I feel like we are going to start talking about Drake's dick in a sec, aren't we?
Oh my god,
There's
not
the
again,
logical
not again.
conclusion to this discussion.
I just wanted to talk about flutes.
Yeah, okay, we really need to talk about these flutes. Portland is fucking great, and I love the flutes are on this album. Like if I'm listening to a new rap album, like from Future onwards and this one onwards, if it's not got flutes, I am giving it an automatic 6 or less.
Don't worry,
It's not going higher.
I'm combining a playlist of all the flutes that happened this year.
That's a great idea, and then we can put it on the monitors, eh? What about that?
I mean, it's just for personal use, really.
Well, I'm gonna steal it.
But no,
those flutes are fucking great. I love flutes.
And Travis and Quavo are really fun on that track.
Travis is great. Let's go snorkeling.
I couldn't stop laughing when we were first listening to it and Travis just came in, because as soon as he comes in, it starts sounding full on like a Travis Scott song.
Yeah, the beat like turns into...
It's like, oh, we got to add all this bass.
Well, no, when he first comes in, they take literally everything out except the flute, so it's just him rapping over the flutes.
No, but you hear like there's a huge bass coming in, it's like whoa, 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 and he's just like, we go live.
I thought it was great.
This playlist made me excited for other albums, so because now I'm excited for Quavo and Travis's album, if that's still happening.
Like that
and
fun.
Kanye and Drake's album, if that's
won't
still
be
happening.
as fun as this, though. Honestly.
What?
Yeah.
What you say?
Bitch.
What you say? No, I didn't hear you.
I need to backtrack.
We talk about Quavo and Travis'
I don't
album.
think Quavo's album will be as cool. Honestly,
Probably not. If he's releasing a lot of albums,
he's one of those
this
people
year.
that's good on other people's tracks a lot.
Yeah, on Travis Scott's tracks, so you know.
He's great on a Travis Scott track,
So yeah.
but I don't want to.
Champions as well.
I'm not sure if I'm interested in a Travis Scott album after his last one.
That album was good. It wasn't terrible.
Yeah. It existed. It had a nav verse on it. Of course, it sucks.
Wow.
So what's this thing about Drake stealing Triple X Tentacion's flow or whatever? What's
Triple X
this about?
tentacle porn.
Oh, so basically what happened is he was playing Call of Duty and then he saw this kid called XXX. He killed him, teabagged him, and then that guy got really angry online. Actually, no, what happened is he released a song called KMT, which we were just talking about, and apparently Drake sounds a lot like his flow on it is a lot like the flow on Look at Me, which is a song about not being able to keep your penis in your pants.
trash. Is this guy in prison?
Yeah, he's in prison for like beating his fucking.
He's in jail.
No, he's in prison for beating his girlfriend up. He's a shitbag.
No, he was in jail.
He's in
No,
jail.
I thought he. No,
Drake
I thought
makes
he
a reference to it on Portland.
No, I thought he'd been sentenced to like 6 months in prison.
What's the reference?
Where he says it's ironic that you're talking about stealing or something because you'll never see that your album will never see the light of day.
Light of Day. Yeah.
Shit! I didn't even clock that. Oh, fuck.
I was wondering who that was about.
Yeah. Drake is really petty on this album, by the way.
Yeah. There's a
I
whole
think that's
article.
really funny though.
Yeah.
And because especially considering the reason he's in jail as well, because it's such a fucking trash.
Yeah, he's not. Yeah, that's
He
a
seems
horrible
like it's
thing.
really
He's not
started to blow up since going into jail there, and I don't.
That's because people fetishize it.
Yeah.
Like people love
that's
a rapper
gross.
who's in trouble. You know, like people there are like rappers that used to blow up because they shot someone.
I mean, we all love him, but look at the free Gucci thing.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
the
it's
same
true.
thing.
But what did Gucci go down for? Didn't he?
I think Gucci
Possession
went
of
to
a
jail
firearm,
for
wasn't it?
battery.
I
So he
thought
didn't
it
go.
was possession
He
of
didn't
a
go to jail for
firearm.
sexual assault or something. It was possession of a firearm, and then he
Yeah.
went back because of battery.
Oh shit.
And then there's the free Kodak thing, and Kodak went to jail for basically rape.
That's pretty bad.
So yeah.
No, it does seem to be. Who is it that like? Oh, Crazy Titch. People are always like, oh, free Crazy
Yeah.
Titch, and it's like, mate,
Yeah.
he did some pretty bad shit. He killed someone.
Yeah. That's about shit. Don't let him out of jail. He
Yeah.
is kind of scary.
And then there's
Yeah,
free
literally.
Max B because he allegedly killed someone. I don't know if it's 100% confirmed or not, but he got 25 to life, didn't he?
People always seem to be easy to forgive someone if they really like their music, though.
Well,
Yeah.
no, it's more in hip hop than it is in anything else. I feel.
Well, black metal.
Oh
There's
yeah,
loads-
Black
there's
Metal,
loads-
you know,
no,
the whole
there's-
burning down churches thing
People
and
still
stabbing
listen
gay
to
people.
Varg.
No, there was a lot of like, oh, free Varg, he didn't do anything wrong, kind of thing. But most of those
He
people
definitely
were
did do
racist.
stuff
Yeah,
wrong.
no, he did quite a lot of bad things. But I think it's been there's quite a few black metal artists who've been to prison for doing horrendous things and fucking they always have these fucking fanboys sitting around being like, well, he didn't do anything wrong. Oh, it was fine. Let him out of jail.
I want another atmospheric black metal album.
All right. So
Yeah.
what's everyone's
So do I.
like kind of final verdict on More Life? What's everyone giving it?
I'll give it an 8.
Ooh.
I think it's way better than Views. It's got so many cool songs on it. Shout out Galchester. That is a great song. I just want to
Hermes
Yow,
Link.
Chester.
Ice Blue Mig.
That's full of great stupid Drake lines like "I don't take naps." Switch
Yeah,
flow
yeah,
like
yeah.
I switch time zone. Showing Lil Uzi how it's done.
Yeah.
8 out of 10 from Connor.
Yes.
Josh,
And
what
a
are you
freestyle.
saying?
I don't know. To be honest, I know I like it a lot more than Views.
Got a ponder.
It could do with some refining in places. I feel like because where it's like the whole playlisting and it just streams into each other, like
Yeah.
things to be cut here and there.
Yeah.
I know I just gave it an 8 out of 10, but it's kind of hard to rate it because it's a playlist.
Well, I'm all about putting you in difficult situations, putting you on
I
the
give
spot.
it 4 bags of popcorn.
Out of
I don't know what you're talking about.
okay.
4 bags of popcorn would make you sick, though. Damn, that's a mean thing to say to Drake.
Rich, what are you giving it?
I'm giving it an 11 so that maybe I get paid to be a music critic. I think that's how this works.
Fucking sell out.
Nah, I liked it. It was quite varied. I'd probably give it like a 7. It would be an 8, but the road rap flows just were unforgivable. So sorry, Drake.
Did you expect to enjoy it?
No, I was actually very pleasantly surprised by it, to be honest. Yeah.
I think that seems to be the general consensus in like online, really, because there's loads of people who hated Views, and they're just like, "Hey, where did this come from, mate?"
Yeah, I was not expecting anything. Also, I just liked how Rich apologised to him and says Drake's going to come out with like
Well, he might be.
two,
He could
two
be
diss tracks
listening.
and two
I've
diss
got to
tracks
think.
and a
I've
bunch
got
of
to
memes
think
aimed
about
at
my.
him.
I've got to think about my career. You know what I mean? What if Drake heard me slagging him off online? My career could be
He'd
over.
be kissing his teeth.
Yeah, exactly. I'd have Skepta and Gigs around my house being like, "Oi."
Is that what that stands
We're
for?
on to work.
KNT.
Kissing my teeth.
How did you not know that by now?
No, I mean, is that what?
He even says it in the song.
Oh,
I mean, is that what?
Yeah,
No,
that's the
is that,
last bar of his
I mean, is that what the
verse
song
as well, I
the
think.
song name stands for? But I guess it
Yeah,
does.
it's the fucking.
Okay, I just thought
Whatever.
it might
Yeah,
stand
you
for
know,
something
you're
else.
never going manies with Drake.
I'm giving Connor a 0 out of 10 for that. That's my rating on Connor.
Connor doesn't listen to lyrics class.
What about you, Joe? What are you saying?
I told you 4 bags.
No, I want something that isn't popcorn related.
I don't know. I don't think I could give it a score, but I think it is good. I definitely think it's the best rap album of the year, even though it's not an album apparently.
Whoa.
And it's not bit. It's only March, mate.
Mate, Kendrick 4 is coming.
Oh, I heard about that.
Wow.
Hey, guess what? Don't care.
But Drake's gonna hold
Hey,
hold on
Kendrick,
to
I
his
ain't
title.
gonna listen to
Kendrick
it unless it's a
overrated.
playlist. Sorry, Kendrick.
Kendrick Hate Club right here.
Make sure
Yeah.
you release a playlist next time. Come for me correct.
I wasn't expecting to enjoy More Life, and I did. But also, I did have to look past a lot of the stuff that I hate. Drake, mainly. Had to kind of ignore him. But, like, honestly, throughout the album, I was thinking, if this was someone else and it wasn't Drake, I would be so in love with this. But
Yeah.
There are a few songs where I'm like, I kind of
annoys
wish Drake wasn't here for this.
I think
Yeah.
it's honestly a little bit easy to get past his persona on it a little bit more because he just sounds like he's having fun.
Well,
It's his voice. I just don't like his voice.
I thought it was-
I mean, if you don't like someone's voice, you can't,
Especially
I
in
thought-
rap, like
Yeah,
that's game over.
Yeah.
I thought it was cool that he took a bit of a backseat, actually. But I guess that's why it's more of a playlist.
Yeah.
On any of his collaborations, he does a lot.
He's definitely. I think he's the of like the big the huge rappers like superstar rappers. He's definitely the one who has like the best choice of beats. Like the beats on this are phenomenal.
Yeah. So overall,
We liked it.
UTM enjoyed More Life.
Thumbs up, other thumb in a bag of popcorn.
How are the stocks for More Life, Joe?
Stocks are up. Invest in Drake.
Invest in Drake. There you go. All right. Let's talk about something else because I can't talk about Drake for too long.
Wait, can we take a break?
That was long.
Can we take a break? Because I really need to do a poo. This is going to be on the... Please don't put that on the podcast.
All right.
No,
You
please
said
keep that
you
in.
said the
No,
words
please
now.
don't.
Like it's got to
Oh,
go
for
in.
fuck's sake.
Right. So most of us have had a poo break.
That's fake news.
Oh God,
That's
fuck
fake
it.
news. I've never done a poo in my life.
Clean.
Rich
let's
is a clogged up boy.
Let's get back on topic. Video games. I can't stop thinking about like poo.
Maybe that should be our last topic of the podcast.
No,
Fuck it.
Best poo video game characters.
The one in
I'll
Conker's
have
Bad Fur Day.
Yep, the big mighty poo.
What's that from?
Conker's Bad Fur Day.
Oh, is that what it's called? Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know. I've never played it. Just watched it.
Mr.
once.
Hanky and his kids are in a South Park game. This list
Yeah.
is coming along great.
Yeah, we've got.
No,
Hey,
no.
how about a new
No.
UTM
No.
feature? Top
No.
5 poos in video games.
No.
Sick.
Coming
wait,
soon.
Wait, hang on. In Dog's Life, you can do your own poos and you can pick them up in your mouth and throw them.
Oh my God.
Damn, that's
10
pretty
out of
tattoo.
10. Best game.
Let's go.
Yeah, alright. Video games. What was the fucking topic again? I can't remember.
Rich, lead us in. Rich, lead us in.
Yeah, Rich,
So
you lead us in.
basically, I was playing Horizon Zero Dawn a lot, as you said. It's a great game. The story is really good, and I remember having an argument with some of the alt-right people. Shout out my various, I don't really want to say friends.
Yeah, I was
People
gonna say
that I
don't-
have interactions on the internet. One of them told me to.
Acquaintances.
One of them told me to suck his dick. Which I was a
lovely.
bit
Wow,
confused
more
by.
than friends.
Nice.
I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
like this is going pretty well for me. I thought we were having an argument about video games. But hey, but yeah, and one of the things I think these guys were really kind of going at the whole Horizon Zero Dawn some SJW bullshit angle, because there's a woman main character, and that was about it. That's it. That's it because she's a female main character, and she's
disgusting. How could we do that?
And she's not sexualized, and she's not a big fuss isn't made out of her being a woman. I thought that was cool.
Get out of here.
Get out of here.
Damn, women are capable.
Yeah. God damn. But yeah, like I mean, one of their big complaints with the game was that there were instances of pretty bad dialogue and kind of really bad acting as well.
Sounds like cherry picking to me.
Yeah, definitely. But the thing is, they didn't play the whole game, and despite there being kind of really bad dialogue and acting in points, it was like the story was far greater than the sum of its parts. You know, so basically, video game acting, like bad acting and bad dialogue in video games, does it necessarily matter?
I mean, it happens quite a lot. Like it's rare.
Less common now.
But it's rare that I play a game and I think, wow, that voice acting is really good. The only one, and we discussed this the other day, the only one that we all said was great was Last of Us. Like that dialogue in that game was amazing. But 9 times out of 10, it's really awkward, janky conversation, and it sucks.
I think one problem is there's so much dialogue. Like, it's hard to write really good stuff when you're like...
Yeah, exactly.
The random side characters and stuff.
Well, you say that, but also, this is basically... Alright, so think about... When you're writing a game, you're not writing a movie. You're writing basically what is a TV show in terms of length. And people manage to write TV shows all by themselves with really good dialogue. Like, the first season of True Detective, all behind, like, one dude is behind all of the scripts for that. And the dialogue in that is very well done. But you don't find as often that people are approaching games the same way, because usually there'll be lots and lots of different writers behind it, because a lot of people still think of games as a commercial product rather than, like... Well, I mean, like, the end goal of everything is to make money when it's art, essentially, with, like, media. But they don't approach it as, like, we want to make something that is engaging narratively. They just think we've got to have this aspect to sell our product.
Well, I personally don't... I'm not sure I necessarily agree with that. I mean, I kind of agree with the money-making thing, but I think the thing about video games is that there are more dimensions to creating a narrative and to sort of illustrating a character in a video game. Because with a TV show, you're kind of doing the writing, you've got the writing and you've got the sort of visual side, but in a video game, there's also that sort of kinetic element. And you can
that's because it's an active experience, whereas watching a TV show is a passive one.
But I think that's sometimes why they don't put so much emphasis on the writing, always, anyway. I mean,
Also,
there are a lot of video games with great dialogue, but I think quite often it kind of takes a backseat, if you know what I mean.
One thing I want to point out is budget is probably a very big aspect of this.
I was going to say...
Considering the amount of people that have to work on games,
Yeah, like, they've got to make the game, the thing that you play. Yeah. It's not like a TV show where you just... Obviously, you got to pay people and whatnot, but it's the main thing is the dialogue and the things that are happening. But game, you got to program that shit. You got to make it work. You got to make sure there's no... But, like, voice acting isn't the biggest part of it, so I don't mind when it's bad. So, like, in Horizon Zero Dawn, if it's bad, I'm not gonna, like, start kicking off. I don't expect the best voice acting, but when it is good, I'm pleasantly surprised, and I do really enjoy it.
In Horizon Zero Dawn, like, so much of how much I played it, like, it's only like a couple of hours, but it is kind of just generic. Apart from the guy who plays Rost, is kind of just very stiff.
Oh, mate, Rost the fucking boss, mate.
His voice acting. The guy
Rost the boss. I haven't played this game, but that sounds hilarious to me already.
Well, doesn't Horizon have like a couple of actual like noted actors in it rather than just like
there were a few voices that I
voice actors.
I recognised a few voice actors from the Futurama.
Lance Reddick, isn't it? I think.
I wanted to say that Woody Harrelson was in it, but I don't think it was. It was just someone that sounded like Woody Harrelson. But I wish Woody Harrelson was in it. So that he can
what else was
a dent
good?
in something.
What?
Until Dawn. The voice acting in that was great.
That was real actors as well, wasn't it?
But that was
That's what I mean. They made that a big thing.
But that was an example of like a more story-driven kind of game, wasn't it?
That's a game where you need to have
But I think that's the thing.
aspect.
I think
It's
exactly.
the same with The Last of Us, because you've got to. The Last of Us isn't, you interacting with the story. It's more you. What's the word? It's kind of you. Just it's like how a TV show is. You have to engage. You engage with the characters, obviously, because you're on this long journey with them, so you feel more emotionally attached. But that the voice acting has to be so much better in that for them to pull off what they're trying to pull off. If
I mean, you can see that The Last of Us clearly went in with the intention of making like almost like a movie.
Well, no,
Yeah.
I think that they still wanted to make a. They still wanted it to
obviously
take
it's a
advantage of a game as a medium.
Yeah, but I like obviously there's parts of it like where you're just kind of walking around and you cannot obviously like talk to people optionally, and that's kind of like a really good insight into like the characters like backgrounds and mindsets, and also it's like they're really good at world building in that. Like Joel will kind of like tell you some basically kind of they'll talk about some stuff that's happened because of the what's the virus called? Whatever the virus is called.
I had something to say and then you interrupted me and I forgot it.
Okay.
Oh
cool.
shit! But I think
It
the
was
other
a really
thing
good jumping off point. I'll tell you what.
But I think the other thing to note about video game writing is, again, in Horizon Zero Dawn, there's a whole... in pretty much any RPG game these days, you kind of have that... You can sort of collect little artifacts from... And there's a sort of little backstory behind it.
Yeah.
There was a backstory about how the world kind of became... And it was sort of analogous of the current political situation in the world today. And it was basically like everything just went really fucked up and politics happened and fucking Nigel Farage was there and stuff like that.
In Horizon Zero Dawn.
But in Horizon Zero Dawn, yeah, he's the big evil bad guy. Like
He's a robot.
Yeah,
Nah,
literally.
he's just a dinosaur.
Fucking zing.
Biting
Zing.
political
Nailed.
satire.
But yeah, like that was the thing. Like there was a really well written kind of backstory to it, and it's kind of it's the first time in ages that I've actually been interested in finding those weird little backstory artifacts. Because it was actually
love
quite an
doing it.
intriguing. But
Well,
it depends. But
that's
sometimes
That's
it's
one
just a
thing
really
that
lame
games
backstory.
do uniquely, isn't it?
Yeah.
That you can explore and discover the story at your own pace, which is something that's very interesting to the medium, I think, because you can't watch back for a TV show and then suddenly, oh, this is different.
Yeah. You watch the thing, that's what it is. But saying that, there is things in TV shows that you might miss.
I don't know, mate. Like, watch True Detective sober and then watch it on acid, which is what I did. And
Right,
fucking
Vice.
hell. Oh,
Vice
fucking
circa
hell, mate.
2014.
Yeah, literally. No, but like, I did actually do this in 2014 as well, so shout out acid.
Wow.
But no, that bit... But that bit, I was peeking at that bit where, spoiler alert, and I always
No
get told off...
No spoilers. This isn't spoiler cast.
Well, basically, when Woody Harrelson makes a dent in the car, and I was fucking peeking on acid, and that was one of the best moments of my life, to be quite honest, because, mate, favourite...
Drugs melt your brain.
Yeah,
Don't do 'em.
literally. They make True Detective a bit fucking weird. Weirder than it should be.
Drugs.
But another thing, like, so there's like dialogue and how it's like actually, spoken and whatnot. Like that can be a bit like, deadpan or tinny or whatnot. But like the actual writing of it as well, in video games suffers a lot. I feel like there's only so much a voice actor can do with a terrible script.
Yeah, it's true.
Yes,
It's true.
100%. Like that was something I just remembered my point. Say it's The Last of Us, like the last scene of it, a big emotional scene, blah 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 blah. Say if it was the actors in it were like the Resident Evil 1 voice acting. It's just like, oh no, you were almost dead. Like that would just it's just. I don't know.
That's voice actors. Like, I mean, it's come on a lot since then. I don't think like people knew how to voice act for games back then, but now
A lot of it was just they would find like random actors in LA who had like posters up saying "hire me," or they would it'd just be someone in the development team just being like, "I'll do it."
Yeah. But yeah, no, I think it's obviously it's come on leaps and bounds, but like with games, there still seems to be that kind of like amateurish kind of vibe to it.
Yeah.
in a
Almost
lot
kind
games.
of like some people just seem apathetic towards like writing it well.
What was that thing about Mass Effect recently?
Oh,
The voice acting's bad.
Oh, it's just straight up bad, or
The
is it
writing's
right?
bad as well.
Yeah,
The writing seems pretty bad as
Oh,
well.
mate.
Yeah,
Wow.
there's a really bad handling of LGBT
Who's
characters.
who's played Mass Effect 2? Because that has
Me.
possibly one of the weirdest but like strangest. I'm not even sure if it's a bad piece of dialogue, but it's kind of like almost like a Freudian kind of weird piece of dialogue. Because what's his name? I think it's Jacob Taylor in Mass Effect 2. What's his
Alien
name?
sex.
I did romance him, not gonna lie, as Gareth. But yeah, like basically, there's a bit in here where they're talking about infiltrating a base, like real silently, and I think they're talking about doing something in plain sight, and he goes, "Yeah, it's like pissing yourself when you're wearing dark trousers. No one will see."
Oh yeah.
And that's
I've seen that
that's
line.
in a video game, like that. And when I first read it, when I first played that game, I was like, "Oh, cool, that's a bit of a strange thing to say." And then I played it again, and I was like, "What? Like, what the fuck?"
Well, I think that there's only going to be a certain amount, like a certain standard of writing when a game is that big in scope.
No,
like,
no,
that
no,
game
but
is...
yeah, but BioWare have always been marketed and always kind of prided themselves on being like, oh, we have such great writing and all this and that. Like that was a big thing a few years ago. That
They've never really had good writing, really.
No, but there was a big sort of marketing thing. BioWare, I always felt that like they had these really professional writers and like this and that. Like for instance, when they
I think
up,
it was more options and stuff rather than good writing and dialogue. Like quantity over quality kind of thing.
I especially remember with Star Wars: The Old Republic, the RPG, they kitted that game up. They basically just made a WoW clone because they spent half the budget on voice actors, and on paying some loads of subpar writers to write fucking loads of dialogue. Yeah. So yeah, BioWare. But that's the thing. That's what I've always said. That, they have these really deep narratives and all this and that. But yeah, I don't like BioWare.
Okay, I think that's what we've gleaned from that. So
Yeah, well, the new game is getting criticism. The new Mass Effect is getting criticism. A lot of it is just people focusing on, the easily shareable stuff, like, haha, look at this bad animation and stuff like that. And it's like, yeah, whatever, it's not great, but whatever. I don't think that's the biggest issue with the game.
As long as the game's alright.
Is that out now?
That's out now.
Yeah.
It's out today.
Was it today? Yeah. I got an email from Steam or someone. And I was like, is that out today?
Origin, it would have been. It's not on Steam because EA were like, "Rah."
Was it
no,
not on? Is it still? Are they still?
email
Are they still doing that? It's not releasing stuff
Yeah.
on Steam. Christ.
But I think the worst problem was, like I said, there's a really bad handling of LGBT characters. There's a trophy in the game for romancing 3 separate people in it, and it's like, okay, that's a bit weird, but okay, sure. Trophy achievement, whatever you want to call it. If you play as a gay male in that game, you cannot get that trophy unless you go bi.
Not enough gay dudes.
There are only 2 gay dudes to sleep with in the game, supposedly.
I mean,
it's all optional stuff. You don't have to get the trophy. But say if you really love this series and you want to play as a character, you want to play as a gay character because that's who best represents you. And you're playing through and you're like, oh, I really want to get all the trophies. I want to platinum this. I want to get 1,000 gamer score. You laugh, but there's people who really want to 100% games.
Yeah, but
That's
if they're gonna want to 100% games, and they want to play as a gay man because that's represents them. If they want 100% games, they're gonna do it anyway. Like,
I know, but they got to sell themselves.
But I mean, is it really the worst thing in the world? Like, it's not great, but is it something to really get mad about?
I think it is.
I think it's some.
It's
I think
in
it's
the
something.
game.
It's not the worst thing in the world.
It's
no.
something
You can't
to
get a
think
trophy.
about.
Well, who fucking cares?
It's-
Would it have
I
been
guess-
Yeah, but why make that trophy to begin with?
I guess would have just been too hard to include one more gay character to sleep with.
Well, I don't think it would have been an issue if they just said, well, I also need to point out that there are more than, I think there's 5 or 6 options for a straight male, and there's like 5 for lesbian, and then there's like, I think, I can't remember, but there's not a lot of options basically for gay characters, which seems really weird because they've fleshed out other options for other sexualities. It's not the worst thing in the world. No, you're right, but it is weird. It's like an oversight, and also there's a trans character in the game who just approaches you and is like, "Hi, I'm trans," and they dead name themselves.
Okay, that's fucking dumb.
That's really
that's some
bad.
bad writing there.
That is
For
terrible
sure.
writing.
Also, except the fucking future, you can make it so everything's rosy and trans people aren't discriminated against like terribly.
yeah, you can do what you want with.
Jesus
Oh,
Christ.
If people are
Yeah,
fucking
that's
aliens,
fucking
you'd
dumb.
feel like people would be okay with trans people by
Well,
then.
one of the themes of those games is, guess what? Now there's aliens, racism still exists.
Yeah, that's true.
But
does
isn't
does
that the
it?
case with a load of alien games though? It's like,
A lot of alien
racism.
films in general, yeah. I don't,
Yeah.
you know, I don't think that that's necessarily a
District
bad
9.
thing because it's a good way of dealing with discrimination in
Yeah.
games. I think.
Yeah.
Does it seem like BioWare have tried to like kind of shoehorn in issues to try and make people think that they're cool, but they've massively massively misstepped on it?
Yes, I would agree with that.
I don't
would
know if
definitely
it's
agree with that.
shoehorning. I think it's them trying to.
They're
you know-
they're awkwardly trying to do this, and it just
The
it
intent
doesn't
was
have a
good,
positive
but-
effect.
The intent was that's what I'm trying to glean.
Yeah.
If the intent was good and they just kind of they missed the mark a little bit, because I
Yeah.
mean it's hard to develop games. I imagine like it can't be the easiest thing in the world.
Just a
So
bit, Jesus
Well, this game
Christ.
was supposedly in development for 5 years, and there's some fundamental issues with how the game is presented. Like, apparently, if you make any custom character, your eyelashes will clip with your eyes in like
Nice.
cutscenes when you
Damn.
blink. So
Oh,
there's a
wow.
lot of issues with
Oh
it.
wow!
I mean, obviously the internet is dogpiling on it. You know, the Gamergate anti SJW types.
The polar opposite
oh.
SJW types, should I say?
social justice mages and social justice thieves.
No,
Why don't you pick those
anti-social
classes?
justice warriors. The angry dudes, the ones who are like, haha, I bought a MAGA hat, ironically, but also now I hate everyone who isn't white.
You pretty much summed up that entire phenomenon
I thought
pretty
you
well.
were talking about like Magaloof. I didn't-
Oh mate,
and then I went through. I was like, "Make America Great Again." Oh, that okay, fair enough.
Ah, damn, I wish you were talking about Shagaloo.
Shagaloof with the
Shagaloof,
lads.
mate, that's the one.
Kill yourselves.
Hey, not a bad
no,
shout.
The internet is dogpiling on that game, but they're talking about. I feel like they're talking about the wrong.
But there is a
issues.
long tradition. I remember when I used to go back on V in 2011.
Oh Jesus!
Here we go.
First rule of B: don't
But
talk
like-
about B. Meh.
No, V.
That's
V,
not B.
V.
Act like a waste man. That's not B.
That is inherently V. But no, like I remember when Mass Effect 2 came out, and Mass Effect 3, and I mean the thing is, I think the sort of hard right internet culture people who don't go out and just play video games all day, there is a long tradition in that kind of subculture of picking on Mass Effect and BioWare.
Dicking on, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's just it's just ripping apart games that aren't Japanese for the most part.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
It
They're
seems
like,
like
oh, what's this Western trash?
it seems like everyone dicks on Mass Effect.
The what, sorry?
Seems like everyone's dicking on Mass Effect though. From all sides.
Yeah, this time it is like a
Yeah.
lot more aggressive. But I also think that there's the rise in that type of,
But I think that's the
hard
thing. The
right
Mass Effect
stuff.
series has not moved with the times, because actually this month it comes in a month where pretty much every single game you can think of was an open world game, and every single one of them was just way better than the Mass Effect release.
Yeah, I honestly think unless you really don't like Japanese games, or if you really don't like games where you have a female lead, then Mass Effect is your only option, really.
That's a
pretty
very
true.
specific set of people.
Yeah, horrible people. I don't blame people for wanting that game to be good, because there was a part of me that wanted that game to be
Yeah,
good because I really liked Mass Effect 2.
Why did the rest of you want it to be bad?
Yeah, I don't think anyone really wants a game to be bad.
Well, no, there are people who want games to be bad. Because they want to feel vindicated. They want to be like,
Yeah. They
haha,
want
this thing
something
I
to
don't
hate,
like
yeah.
is bad.
It's fucking like trash people on the internet though, isn't it? They can fucking do one.
Like when Mafia 3 got bad reviews, everyone was just like, haha, yeah, it's because you put a black man as the lead character.
Oh god, don't fuck. Oh.
Yeah, that was bad because, people really, really want to feel justified in their hatred.
Yeah. I guess they don't really have anything else, do they? If you're one of those people, you're trash.
I mean, if something in a game shit, like the voice acting in Mass Effect, like, why is it such a big deal? Like, yeah, it misses the mark. It's a fucking game. Like, if you want to play it and enjoy it, just fucking do it. If you don't, I mean, yeah, it's talk on the internet, but don't like make it your fucking mission to let everyone know how much you hate the fucking game. Like, you're wasting your energy, bro.
It's because standards for voice acting has gotten a little higher. I
mean, I do want to see it get higher as well. Like, imagine if we,
because it elevates it, doesn't it? Like,
it really does.
We all still talk about The Last of Us, and that's probably because of the voice acting.
The voice acting was so
like
good,
the game is cool and everything, but think about how if that voice acting, those cutscenes were really stilted and looked like they were directed by David Lynch, but not in a good way.
It would be a whole different game.
Yeah, imagine like M says she can't play the game because it makes her too emotional and she fucking cries, right? That's a testament to how good the voice acting is and the writing of the story, And I'm kind of the same. It made me fucking emotional, like.
And if really it was does elevate it. It makes the game more memorable beyond just being a game because you remember it as a story as well.
Yeah, exactly.
It makes them feel like real characters, so you can empathize with them more.
Well, it's the same thing with Jack.
Spoken like a true robot, Connor.
Thanks.
In Resident Evil 7. I think that Jack is like the best new character of the year. He is so good. He was
fucking scary.
Yeah, I was thinking that when Nathan was talking about Resident Evil 7, I thought that actually works really well into the whole discussion about dialogue. Because there was loads of like it was kind of more cartoony. It was kind of more like a B movie kind of thing.
It's like Evil Dead,
fun.
isn't it?
Yeah, it was just like fucking wacky, crazy dialogue.
He's genuinely funny, but he's also fucking terrifying. I think.
It toes that it steps that line really well. Like
that's like
funny
such
and
a good example
scary.
of dialogue.
Like, it's very Evil Dead.
That's kind of the other end that some video games maybe could be inhabiting, is just having that kind of really solid, funny, kind of more light-hearted dialogue, because not every single game needs to have like
it's
a
hard
fucking
to get humor
heart-wrenching story.
Like you'll just be in a room and in any other horror game you'd probably just hear like outside of the room or something. In this one you hear I can smell you.
Damn, that sounds
that
like
is
very
fucking scary.
Very 80s horror movie, like Shining type shit.
And when he starts chasing you, rather than just like growling or something or like grunting, he starts going, "I'm gonna get you."
Fucking creepy.
But I think that's something that a lot of games. I mean, imagine if the original Halo, they'd fucked all of the kind of like slightly more serious tone of the dialogue and literally just written aliens. It's like just basically copied the script of Aliens. That would have been great with all the fucking hilarious bant from that film.
I had no idea Halo had a story.
It does.
Yeah, Master Chief kills aliens.
The first game was a little bit lighter on it than the later ones were, but that was because it was more introducing the world and everything, which is cool. Because Halo's a good game, guys.
It is a good game. I'm going to stand by that.
The series isn't great anymore, but
Halo 3 was a really good game multiplayer-wise as well. I'm not going to go there. Anyway.
Dialogue.
Hey, what do you know when voice acting's usually always awful? Dubbing.
Yeah. No, I disagree.
Not with video games.
And what perfect example for that is Final Fantasy 15.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, okay. English was great in that.
Yeah, like playing that game, like with all the quotes, like I've come up with a new recipe. Like if you played that in Japanese, you wouldn't have got that. That wasn't in the Japanese script. That was something they decided to do when they localized it. So I don't necessarily agree like that dubs are always.
Yeah, I think with video games it's completely different than it is with anime.
I did say almost all.
Yeah, I know, but with video games, I don't know if there's that many ones where I would go out of my way to listen to it in the original language.
I've got an example. So 15 was obviously great in English. English voice acting was great. But World of Final Fantasy, the English voice acting was fucking annoying.
Then you have that character that says
horrible.
the thing after everything.
We've got to go to the tower. Like, and it was you fucking right. Just purely because of that, I had to just change to Japanese. But like the Japanese voice acting suited it so much better. Like the tone. Obviously, I don't know what they're saying. Like, and I'm not familiar with all the inflections of the linguistics shit. But it fit really well. Like from what I could gather, like the tone when they were saying something kind of like funny but like sarcastic, like really deadpan, like it worked on that one. But the English voice acting was just like so saccharine. It was disgusting.
I guess it's another priorities thing. Like if someone wants to make a good dub, they'll put that effort in. Like you were saying with 15, but like sometimes it just seems to be made really cheaply. Jay was saying about like the Zelda dub, like dubbing earlier, voice acting.
Yeah, but I don't know if necessarily if that was a case of dubbing, if you know what I mean, because I think that was they had different writers just straight up not translate a script or anything, but
like
go off a baseline. Yeah, it wasn't necessarily a dub situation. They just had it developed in different languages. And the case is the English one is going to be the most listened to one anyway, because Japan doesn't love Zelda as much as the rest of the world does.
It's true.
Does it not?
No. Sales aren't as good in Japan as they are over here, I don't think.
I think there's Shadows of the Damned. Technically, it was a game developed in Japan, but it has a Japanese dub rather than an English dub. Because they basically were like, hey, we need to make this appeal to the Japanese market, because they originally developed it with the intent of appealing to the Western markets. And the Japanese dub is interesting. It's very intense, but you don't get the stuff like Shadows of the Damned had with the skeleton following you around having a really posh accent for some reason, and you saying lines like "taste my big boner." Like that doesn't translate into subtitles. You just read that and you'd be like, "What?" He just says it like it's completely ridiculous, and it is better in English in that case. I don't know. Dubs aren't always bad. I think they're in video games. I think a lot of the time they're pretty good. They're the standard for it in video games is a lot higher, honestly.
Yeah.
Like the Persona games have fantastic dubs.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like I'm tempted to play through in English because like the dubs that I've seen so far are really good.
They have Troy Baker in the fourth one, I think.
I don't know anyone in the cast for this one, but
he was in the third one. Yeah, I don't know. I think that sometimes it complements it. So
I think
Connor,
also
you're
because...
wrong.
I think sometimes with those kind of games, because they know it's such a big issue as well, and people are always going to be like, I don't want to listen to the dub, I want sub or something like that. They
got to go out of their way to make it good.
Extra detail and make sure it's good.
Yeah, there's honestly people in like the community of people who really like the Persona games that go out of their way to actually listen to it in English as well, because they'll be like, I really like the English voice acting, and I think it's really charming and everything, because it is really well done. For the last two games in the series were really well done in that regard, and it helps explain things that are distinctly Japanese that otherwise you might not understand, because there's certain things in Japanese grammar and like wordplay that doesn't translate very well at all.
So, with regards to writing and voice acting in games in general, does it really bother anyone? Like, if it's bad, or are we just all kind of?
I mean,
I think it depends on the game.
It's more that if it's really good, it's a really good treat rather than like being really
definitely.
bothered.
That's how I see it. Yeah.
But it's not really necessary to have. You can have a perfectly good video game without any. You can have a really good video game actually with awkward dialogue.
When you think about it, if like writing and dialogue was really high level in all like the majority of video games, would The Last of Us be as special?
Maybe not.
So, yeah.
No, the acting's still good in it though.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
true.
say if the acting was also really good and high level of all games.
Yeah, it's not happening though. Is
Not
Pedantic,
anytime soon,
patty.
it? The dialogue thing might happen eventually, but
I mean, I hope we see like an increase in like better, voice dialogue, or maybe increase in budgets for video games.
I think we will. I think we are already seeing that.
Yeah, I mean, two recent ones, Horizon Zero Dawn and Mass Effect, are being like dicked on because they haven't got it. So it's not like I mean,
No, but I think it's something
stocks
we're seeing.
aren't going up.
It's
like,
something we're
steadily.
seeing. It's something we're seeing an increase in.
I think we might. Well, not at the moment. Like it's. I think at the moment, every now and then, like you get a game with really good voice acting, but it's not like a steady increase in games in general. But I do want to see that. Like I do want to see more games putting more stock into that.
Definitely.
I think
it
what
does
really,
really make a game.
kicked off that trend was of people expecting more was honestly like the first Uncharted game, like because it had an actor. I beg your pardon. What are you gonna say, bitch?
I'm with Connor on that. I also agree with because I hate Uncharted.
Tell me what started it then.
I don't know. I just don't think.
Well, if you don't like the Uncharted games, that's fine.
There have been well-written games.
That's what kick-started the trend of people being like, we expect like an actor to be behind it rather than like.
What about Fallout 3?
North. Huh?
What about Fallout 3? Or did that come out?
Fallout 3,
when
Fallout 3 came out after, mate.
Did it? Oh, right. Well, I stand corrected.
I know. I was just a bit if you were going to be saying, it's because people expect a really good story and dialogue and stuff. But that one's a bit.
The Uncharted games do have good dialogue, but they don't have good story.
The first one's
it's just
really boring.
Second
Uncharted's good, but
the second Uncharted has some really good dialogue in it, but like I said, it doesn't have a good story. It's basically just, I want to get some treasure. And that's what all of the games are, except for the fourth one, which is a little bit different because you're a stay-at-home dad now.
But yeah, I think a video game having a more interesting plot is far more important than having quality dialogue and voice acting. Personally,
Wait, say that again.
I think a video game having like a much better plot as a whole is way more important than individual bits of dialogue and voice acting.
That's why people remember the first two Silent Hill games because of the stories that they told and the voice acting in those. Do
you know what might be a good upcoming game for that kind of thing? Or maybe not dialogue.
What's that?
Death Stranding.
Ooh.
That could be.
Know. Voice acting will probably be great, but dialogue, because it's Hideo Kojima, it could be real bad.
Yeah, it could be all sorts of fucked up.
Yeah, but it'll be. I think with any Kojima game, like it's bad, but it's kind of like watching fucking Samurai Cop or some really bad film. It's like what's that game with the trash guy taking out the trash or something? The horror film.
Oh, Garbage Day.
Garbage. That's the one.
That's not the name of the film, but that's what he says.
That is the one.
Silent Night, Deadly Night, Part 2.
Yeah, that's the one.
We've gone really off topic now.
We have.
That's what I'm saying.
We always do.
I think we've made our points on that.
It's gonna be a long one.
Yes.
I don't want to talk about Uncharted anymore, so let's wrap things up there.
Sweet.
This has been a good one. I feel like less interruptions, maybe less fuck ups. Yeah,
there was still a few.
There's still time.
Yeah. Okay, so go check out our other podcasts we've done before. There's two other one part 1 and part 2, and then 2 as well. Go check them out if you haven't already. At upthemonitors.wordpress.com now, because someone didn't fucking pay the bill. So we'll sort that out soon. But fucking like, subscribe. I'm your dad now. I tell you what to do.
Oh yes,
all that shit. Yeah.
Punch Dads 2017.
Who's excited about me being their dad? That's
me.
weird. Okay.
Can we go to the park?
Yeah, sure. We'll go to the park.
Sick. Can you get me an Xbox One?
Can't afford it, mate. Me and your mum are pretty
got
tight
no
on money right now.
Shit. Well, I don't want to go to the park now. Fuck you, Dad.
Okay.
Dad,
What's up? What's up?
Can you get me some yogurt?
Fuck off.
This is turning into some fucking weird roleplay shit, and I'm down with it.
There's going to be
I'm not
people,
alright
be
with this
asking you for
yogurt
milky
shit.
coins.
there's going to be
Oh,
people
God.
listening to this like, what the fuck? These are some really weird in jokes these guys have.
No one gets this far in the podcast. It's fine.
Oh, we can say whatever we want.
All right, we'll see you next month for the next
Who?
podcast. Don't know what that's going to be about, but please
Willies.
look forward to it.
Goodbye.
Oh, God.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye. Bye. Goodbye.